Well, good morning, Steve. Thanks very much for taking time out to come to the FIVA stand. So at the Goodwood Revival, obviously the elite end of historic racing and preservation more generally is historic cars and preservation of older cars. Is that an area that you have an active interest in?
Well, since I retired from a professional racing driver, what I now do is race historic and classic cars. So the addiction to motor racing is still there, and now at my age the only way I can sort of serve the addiction is via historic and classic car racing.
Yeah, and have you any interest in classics outside of actual racing and restoring cars, that type of thing? Any involvement in that world?
I've been building some race cars, historic cars, and I've owned some older cars like Lotus Elans and MGBs and old Porsche 356s, but I normally buy and sell them. So I fall in love with them, buy them, then fall out of love with them and sell them on and try and make a profit. So
these days, obviously, the younger generation are not unlike us. I mean, they're much less interested in cars. I mean, do you see that yourself? Do you see younger people not really showing so much interest? And any ideas of how that interest can be rekindled?
Well, I don't see that very much with the younger people. Maybe that's because the circles I mix in are motorsport, car enthusiasts, and all their sort of children or grandchildren have all grown up in the motorsport and motor world. So all the kids I come in contact with are actually really into cars and motorsport. So no, I haven't noticed that. I've got two daughters. They're not young. They're 30 and 28, but they're absolutely passionate about cars.
Well, that's great. It's an intergenerational thing, yeah. But it is an area that more generally is under threat. Fewer kids are driving, and that less interest in cars. But it's interesting you say that intergenerationally the interest is still there.
But I think that's because of my background, and all of my friends are motorsport. That's just, I mean, I obviously have got other friends that aren't to do, or their background's not motorsport or cars, but they're still interested in it. And I find that from my small little group, I haven't known, but I have heard what you're saying. I do know it's out there, but I haven't experienced it.
So another area that FIVA are involved in is historic rallies. Have you any interest in doing any historic rallying and away from the circuits?
Yeah, I would love to do that, but it's sort of owning the right car and you sort of plotting. As I get older, I seem to be a busy fool. I'm achieving nothing, but I've never got 5 or 10 minutes or a week to myself. So, but it is certainly on my agenda, my bucket list. I've done a couple of events that David Richard organises up at in Cornwall, Devon, but they're sort of very low key sort of treasure hunts, and from one restaurant to another restaurant, but it's great fun to do that. And yes, it is on my, and I don't know how much longer I can keep racing. I'm 71 now, and I'm digging deep to do the same lap times as I used to do. So maybe I need another avenue to go down to, because every time I get in the race car I think you should stop.
Well, hopefully we'll see you out in a rally car, historic rally car in the near future. So Steve, again, thanks very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come to FIVA.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.